The mansion stood on a quiet hill away from the city lights, and it looked calm from the outside, but inside it carried a heavy feeling that never left. Tall gates surrounded the place and cameras watched every corner, but none of that made the home feel safe or warm. People inside the mansion moved carefully and spoke softly because they knew who owned the place and what power came with that name. The owner was a feared mafia boss whose name alone could silence a room, but his power could not control the emotions inside his own home. His son Leo lived in that mansion surrounded by luxury, yet felt more alone than anyone outside the gates. Leo was still young, but his eyes carried tired shadows, as if he had grown old too fast. He had everything: money, clothes, rooms bigger than most houses, but he lacked the one thing he wanted most, which was comfort. That evening the silence of the mansion broke, when loud sounds came from the upper floor. A vase hit the wall and shattered, and a chair slid across the room with force. Guards froze in their places because they knew better than to interfere when the boss's son was angry. Leo paced his room like a storm trapped indoors, and his hands shook as his emotions overflowed. His heart felt tight and his chest burned with feelings he could not explain in words. He had just found out his father left again without telling him anything. No goodbye, no promise, no time spent together, just silence and distance once more. Leo remembered standing by the window earlier hoping to see his father's car return, but it never did. That hope slowly turned into pain, and the pain turned into anger that filled his body. He felt ignored, forgotten, and unwanted even in a house full of people. Tears rolled down his face, but he hated them because he believed crying made him weak. He wiped his face roughly and pushed a table away as if that could push the pain out too. The walls of the room felt like they were closing in and the air felt too heavy to breathe. Leo slid down to the floor and hugged his knees as his strength left him. His sobs echoed softly in the large room, but no one came to check on him. Downstairs a maid named Anna was cleaning the long hallway slowly and carefully. Anna had worked in the mansion for many years and she knew how to stay invisible. She was a black woman with a calm face and eyes that had seen many quiet struggles. She never spoke unless spoken to, and she followed rules because breaking them could cost her job. Still, she had a heart that listened even when her ears were not supposed to. When she heard the sounds from upstairs, her hands paused and her heart tightened. She recognized the sound of a child in pain, not just anger but deep sadness. Anna had seen Leo grow up from a distance and noticed how often he was alone. She had seen him eat meals by himself and walk the halls without laughter. She knew the mansion gave him comfort in things but not in people. For a long moment Anna stood still holding her cleaning cloth, unsure of what to do. Servants were told to never cross boundaries, especially with the boss's family. But her heart felt heavier with every sound she heard from upstairs. She remembered her own childhood and nights when she cried with no one to hold her. That memory pushed her forward even though fear followed close behind. Anna quietly climbed the stairs one step at a time, hoping no one would stop her. The hallway upstairs felt longer than usual, and the noise led her to Leo's room. The door was open and she saw the mess inside, but that was not what caught her eye. She saw Leo sitting on the floor shaking as tears fell freely now. His small body looked even smaller in that large room filled with expensive things. Anna felt her chest tighten because she knew that look too well. She stepped inside slowly, making sure not to scare him. Leo looked up suddenly, expecting someone to shout at him. Instead he saw Anna standing there quietly with gentle eyes. For a moment neither of them spoke, and the room felt still. Leo tried to turn his face away, but his tears would not stop. Anna moved closer and sat on the floor beside him without saying a word. She did not tell him to stop crying or ask questions. She simply opened her arms and waited patiently. Leo hesitated because no one had ever done that for him before. Then his control broke and he leaned into her arms. Anna wrapped him in a warm, steady embrace that felt real and safe. Leo cried harder at first, as if years of pain were finally being released. Anna held him firmly and gently at the same time. She rocked him slightly like she would a child who needed rest. Slowly his breathing began to calm, and his sobs softened. The anger faded and only sadness remained, but it felt lighter now. In that moment, the mansion felt quieter and warmer than it ever had. No cameras, no guards, no power mattered inside that small space. It was just a child and a woman offering comfort without conditions. Neither of them knew how important this moment would become. But something changed that night, and the story inside the mansion had just begun. Morning light entered the mansion softly and touched the long halls where silence still ruled. The house looked peaceful again, but the memory of the night before still lived inside its walls. Leo woke up on his bed feeling tired, yet lighter, as if something heavy had been lifted from his heart. For the first time in a long while he did not wake up angry or scared. He remembered the warmth of Anna's arms and the calm feeling that followed. That memory stayed with him like a quiet shield around his chest. Downstairs, Anna moved through the kitchen, starting her day as usual. She prepared trays and wiped counters just like every other morning. Nothing looked different from the outside, but inside her heart felt changed. She had crossed a line the night before, and yet she did not regret it. She wondered if she would be warned or punished for what she did. Still, she believed she did the right thing. Leo came down later than usual and walked into the dining room. The long table felt too big as always, but today he noticed Anna nearby. She avoided his eyes at first, unsure of what he might feel. Leo stood still for a moment, then quietly sat down. He did not shout or throw anything like other mornings. Instead, he looked toward Anna with a soft, uncertain expression. Anna felt his gaze and slowly looked up. Their eyes met briefly, and Leo gave a small nod. It was not a smile, but it was something new. Anna nodded back and returned to her work. That silent exchange carried more meaning than words. As the day moved on, Leo stayed unusually calm. He walked through the halls without rushing and without anger. Guards noticed the change but did not question it. They were used to strange moods and sudden shifts. Still, something about Leo felt different now. Later that afternoon, Leo sat alone in the library, flipping through pages without reading. His mind kept returning to the night before. He realized that Anna was the first person who held him when he cried. No lectures, no orders, no fear, just comfort. That thought confused him and warmed him at the same time. Anna passed by the library carrying fresh towels. Leo looked up quickly, then gathered courage he did not know he had. He stood and followed her quietly into the hallway. Anna stopped when she sensed someone behind her. She turned and saw Leo standing there, unsure and nervous. For a moment neither spoke. Head gently. She told him everything was fine and that he did nothing wrong. Leo looked relieved but still hesitant. Anna was surprised by the question and shook her head gently. She told him everything was fine and that he did nothing wrong. Leo looked relieved but still hesitant. He asked her why she helped him. Anna paused because the answer felt simple yet deep. She told him that everyone needs someone sometimes. She said pain does not care about money or power. She said she saw a child hurting and followed her heart. Leo listened closely, as if every word mattered. No one had spoken to him like that before. He nodded slowly and thanked her in a quiet voice. The word felt strange on his tongue but also right. From that day, small moments began to form between them. Nothing obvious, nothing loud, just quiet understanding. Anna would leave an extra fruit on his plate. Leo would wait until she passed before starting his meals. They did not speak much, but they noticed each other. At night, Leo no longer threw things when he felt angry. Instead, he would sit by his window or walk the halls. Sometimes Anna would find him sitting quietly and ask if he wanted tea. Sometimes he nodded, and sometimes he just appreciated her presence. The mansion slowly felt less cold to Leo. Not because the place changed, but because he felt seen. Anna became a steady figure in his days. She did not replace his parents or fix everything. But she gave him something real. Meanwhile, rumors moved quietly among the staff. They noticed the change in the boss's son. They whispered about the maid who spent time near him. Some warned Anna to be careful. Some looked at her with curiosity. Anna stayed calm and focused on her work. She knew her place and respected it. But she also knew the bond she formed was important. She was careful yet present. One evening Leo waited near the stairs as Anna finished her shift. He looked nervous and kept his hands in his pockets. When Anna approached, he asked if she would sit with him for a while. She hesitated only for a second, then agreed. They sat in a quiet corner where the lights were low. Leo spoke slowly, choosing his words carefully. He talked about feeling invisible and unwanted. He talked about the mansion feeling like a cage. Anna listened without interrupting. She told him his feelings mattered. She told him it was okay to feel hurt. She did not promise things would change quickly. But she promised he was not alone in that moment. Leo felt something shift inside him. Trust began to grow like a small, fragile seed. He did not know where it would lead. But for the first time hope felt possible. Far away, the boss returned late that night, unaware of the quiet changes inside his home. He did not notice the softer air or the calmer halls. He did not see the bond forming silently. But the mansion was changing one moment at a time. And at the center of it stood a boy and a woman connected by simple human care. Their story was still unfolding and greater challenges waited ahead. But the foundation had been set quietly and firmly. What began with tears now moved toward understanding. And the heart of the mansion had started to beat again. The calm inside the mansion did not last forever because quiet places often hide growing tension beneath their surface. As days passed, the boss spent more time at home and his presence changed the air in every room. His footsteps echoed heavy through the halls and guards stood straighter when he appeared. Leo felt the shift immediately because he always did when his father returned. The warmth he felt around Anna stayed, but fear slowly crept back into his chest. The boss noticed the change in his son, even if he did not understand it. Leo no longer shouted or broke things, and that confused him. Power had taught the boss that fear controlled people, not kindness. He wondered what had softened the boy so suddenly. One evening he called a senior guard and asked questions quietly. The guard spoke carefully and mentioned the maid named Anna. The boss listened without showing emotion, but his eyes grew sharp. He did not like rules being crossed inside his house. Anna felt the tension too, though no one spoke to her directly. She noticed guards watching her more closely when she passed. Whispers among the staff grew heavier and colder. Some avoided her while others warned her with worried looks. Still, Anna continued her work with calm focus. She did not seek Leo out, but she did not avoid him either. Their bond remained quiet and respectful. Leo sensed something was wrong, and his old fear returned. He worried that Anna might be taken away because of him. That thought made his chest ache worse than before. One afternoon Leo waited in the small garden behind the mansion. Anna was trimming plants nearby when he approached her slowly. He asked if she was angry with him. Anna smiled gently and told him she was not. Leo then asked if she would leave. The question came out soft but full of fear. Anna paused and chose her words carefully. She told him she did not plan to leave. She told him he was not a burden. Those words stayed with Leo like a quiet promise. But that promise was tested sooner than expected. That night the boss called Anna into his private office. The room was large, dark, and heavy with authority. Anna walked in calmly, though her heart beat fast. The boss looked at her for a long moment before speaking. He asked her why she spent time with his son. Anna stood straight and answered honestly. She said she saw a lonely child who needed comfort. The boss frowned and told her she crossed boundaries. He reminded her of her position and the rules of the house. Anna listened without fear and did not argue. Then she spoke again quietly but firmly. She said no child should grow up without care. She said kindness was not a threat. The room fell silent. The boss did not expect those words. He felt anger but also something unfamiliar. He dismissed Anna without punishment, but with a warning. He told her to remember her place. Anna bowed her head and left the room. Outside the office her legs felt weak, but her heart stayed strong. She worried about Leo but trusted she did the right thing. Leo waited anxiously in his room, unaware of what had happened. When Anna did not appear that evening, his fear grew. Old thoughts returned, telling him people always leave. He sat on the floor again, hugging his knees. The mansion felt cold once more. Later Anna quietly knocked on his door. Leo opened it quickly, and relief flooded his face. He asked if everything was okay. Anna told him yes and sat beside him. She did not tell him about the office or the warning. She did not want to add fear to his heart. Instead she spoke about strength and patience. She told him sometimes adults struggle with their own pain. She told him that change takes time. Leo listened carefully and nodded. He trusted her more than anyone now. Meanwhile the boss stood alone in his office thinking. Anna's words echoed in his mind. He remembered his own childhood filled with silence and distance. Memories he had buried under power began to surface. He watched Leo from afar over the next days. He saw the calm and the quiet strength growing in his son. He did not understand it fully, but he could not deny it. The tension inside the mansion reached a turning point. The bond between Anna and Leo had been tested but not broken. Instead it grew stronger under pressure. Leo felt braver, even when afraid. Anna felt cautious yet hopeful. The mansion itself seemed to wait, holding its breath. Something was changing slowly and deeply. Not through force or fear, but through quiet care. The storm had not passed yet. But both Leo and Anna stood stronger than before. They did not know what the future held. But they knew they would face it with courage. The mansion woke under a soft sky, as if the walls themselves were listening to the quiet changes within. Leo moved through the halls with steady steps, carrying a calm he had never known before. He felt fear at times, but it no longer controlled him the way it once did. Anna continued her work with gentle focus, keeping her distance yet remaining present. The boss watched all of this from a place of silent thought. He noticed how Leo greeted people with his eyes instead of anger. He noticed how the house felt less tense when the boy walked by. These small signs stirred something he had ignored for years. One evening the boss asked Leo to sit with him in the study. The room was quiet with warm light and heavy books. Leo felt nervous, but he did not run or hide. He sat across from his father and waited. The boss struggled to find words that did not command. He asked Leo how he felt living in the mansion. The question surprised Leo, and he hesitated. Then he spoke honestly about loneliness and fear. He said the house felt big but empty. He said he missed his father even when he was present. He said kindness made him feel safe. The boss listened without interrupting. Each word struck deeper than any challenge ever had. He realized power had not made him a parent. Later that night the boss called Anna again. This time his voice was different and slower. He thanked her for caring for his son. He admitted he did not know how to do that himself. Anna responded with respect and honesty. She said love grows through presence, not fear. She said children need to be heard. The boss nodded quietly. He felt something loosen inside him. Over the following days, the mansion changed in small ways. Meals became shared moments instead of silent routines. Leo spent time with his father without pressure. Anna remained part of the household with renewed respect. The staff noticed the difference and the whispers faded. The house felt warmer and lighter. One afternoon Leo stood by the window watching the sky. Anna joined him and they shared a quiet smile. He told her he felt stronger now. She told him that strength had always been inside him. The boss watched them from a distance with understanding. He saw the bond not as a threat but as a gift. The mansion no longer echoed with rage or tears. It carried lessons learned through compassion. And at its heart stood a boy who had found comfort. And a woman who followed her heart. And a man who learned to listen. The story did not end with perfection. But it ended with hope and healing. And sometimes that is more than enough.